There was a time that Zarathustra too once cast his delusion beyond the human being, like all believers in a world beyond. At that time, the world seemed to me like it was the work of a suffering God, a tortured God. The world seemed to me like a dream then, as if God had written a fable. It was like colored smoke before the eyes of this divinely discontented creator. Good and evil, pleasure and pain, I and thou. All these things, they seem to me like smoke before creative eyes, the creative eyes of this creator. To look away from himself, it seemed to me, was what the creator really wanted. So, he created the world. It is a drunken pleasure for all sufferers to look away from themselves, to lose themselves. And once to me too, drunken pleasure and loss of oneself, the world seemed like it was to me. This world, eternally imperfect, an image of eternal contradiction, an imperfect image, and for its creator, a drunken pleasure to look at. Yes, the world seemed to me to be like this once. Yes, I too once cast my delusion beyond the human being, like all believers in a world beyond do. Ah, brothers, this God that I created was a human's work and a human's madness, just like all gods are. Human this God was, and just a meager piece of human and of my own I. Yes, it came to me from my own ashes, from my own blaze. This specter came to me. This specter did not come to me from the beyond. So what happened then, my brothers? I overcame myself as a sufferer. I carried my own ashes to the mountain. A brighter flame I made for myself. And brothers, behold, the specter, it fled away from me. Now it would be suffering and torture for someone like me who is healed from this to believe in those kind of specters anymore. Suffering it was, and incapacity. That is what created all worlds beyond, just as I once did. It's a weariness that wants to attain to the ultimate in one single leap, in a leap of death. It's a poor and ignorant weariness. It doesn't even want to will anymore. This is what created all gods and all worlds beyond. It was the body that despaired of the body. It was the body that groped with fingers of a deluded spirit, searching for ultimate walls. Believe me, my brothers, it was the body that despaired of the earth. It was the body that heard the belly of being talk to it. And then it wanted to break through those ultimate walls with its head. And not only its head. It wanted to get to that other world. But this so-called other world is well concealed from humans. That dehumaned, unhuman world that is really just a heavenly nothing. Because the belly of being does not speak to humans at all unless it speaks to them as humans. It is indeed hard to demonstrate all being is not the most peculiar of all things, still the best demonstrated. Yes, the world is full of paradox. This I and the I's contradiction and its confusion, it still speaks honestly of its being. This creating, this willing, this valuing I. That is the measure and value of things. And this more honest being that admits to all these contradictions, the I, it speaks of the body, and it still wants the body. Underneath, it still wants the body, even when it poeticizes, even when it raves and flutters, longing for the other world. And ever more honestly, it learns to talk, this I. And the more it learns, the more it finds words and honors for the body and the earth. A new pride, my own I, taught me, which I now teach to you, you human beings. To no longer bury your head in the sand of heavenly things, but to carry your head freely, an earthen head that creates a sense of the meaning of the earth. Yes, a new will I teach human beings, to will this earthly path that human beings have walked blindly hitherto, and to call it good, and no longer to slink away from it as if embarrassed, like the sick do. It was the sick and the moribund who despised the body and the earth, and invented the heavenly realm, and these redemptive drops of blood. Yes, but even these sweet poisons, they took from their own body. They took it from the earth. It was from their misery they wanted to escape. And the stars, they were too far for them. And so they sighed, "Oh, would that there were heavenly ways by which to get to this other world, to get to that state of being, that happiness." And so they invented their ruses and their potions of blood. From their bodies and from this earth, they imagined themselves transported. These ingratitudes. Yet to what did they owe those spasms and their rapture of their transports to begin with? Where did that impulse come from? It came from their own bodies and from the earth. Zarathustra is gentle with the sick. He does not rage against their need for comfort and all their ingratitude. May these sick ones one day be convalescents. May they heal and learn to overcome and create for themselves a higher body. Nor is Zarathustra angry with the convalescent, those who are healing, when they look back tenderly on their old delusions, and at midnight they sneak around the grave of their God. But even such tears in them still suggest to me sickness and a sick body. There have always been many sick people among the poets who long for God. Furiously they hate the one who understands. And that youngest among the virtues, honesty. Backwards they look to dark ages. Indeed, at that time, delusion and faith were another matter. Then the delirium of reason was God's similarity, and doubt was a sin, and for good reason. Yes, all too well I know those who seek after God. They want to be believed in themselves, and they want doubt to be a sin once again. All too well I know what they themselves believe in the most. They don't really believe in these worlds beyond, nor in redemptive blood drops. What they really believe in the most is their own bodies, and their own bodies are really the true thing in itself. But a sickly thing their bodies are to them, and so they would gladly get out of their own skins. And so they listen to the preachers of death, and they themselves preach about worlds beyond. But my brothers, more honestly and purely does the healthy body talk, complete and foursquare, and it speaks of the meaning of the earth. Thus spoke Zarathustra.